Sup, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Just want to let y'all know something that y'all hear me say from time to time, and that is your thoughts shape your reality. And I mean, that's a pretty self explanatory term, but sometimes people don't really grasp it like it is. Whatever you're thinking in your mind, that's what shapes your reality. Um, it dictates your mood. Thought is energy. So you can have dominant thoughts that lean on the negative side, where you're always sad, you're always angry, you're always depressed, you're always frustrated, you're always pessimistic. Then you can have thoughts that lean more on the positive side, where you're happy, you're optimistic, you're upbeat, you got a good positive outlook on things, man. And these are the things that dictate how we balance our way through life. What we got to understand is that the thought is so powerful that it goes into the very cells that are in us, and whichever uh, thoughts take up the most power in our minds, when the cells are produced, then they will lean towards whichever is the most dominant thoughts. So we passing on this negative energy and regenerating it within our own vessels, within our own minds. And then we wonder why things are not really going good for us in our life, because we have trained ourselves. We've trained ourselves to have a cloudy, gloomy, negative outlook on things sometimes before the situation even develops. That's why a lot of times we can be having plans and thoughts and ideas of what we might want to try to do, uh, projects we might want to try to take on, and then we will abort the thought and the idea before it ever even comes into existence, because just as quick as we came up with it, we made the determination within ourselves that, oh, that ain't gonna work. Nah, I ain't gonna try that ain't gonna work. And then you look up later on and somebody ends up doing the exact same thing that you had in your mind to do, and which brings you further down. Thought is energy. Thought is the very essence of everything that you see around you. And we can be motivated by positive thought, just like we can be brought down by negative thought. Sometimes, you can be, that's why people listen to certain music when they down. That's why you can watch a what they call a motivational speaker. And a motivational speaker, his purpose is to do just that, is to motivate you, to lift you up, and to bring you into a state of self-belief that whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you can absolutely accomplish. Even when people are suffering from certain mental ailments, I've seen it myself. I've seen times where people have had mental issues, and certain things are introduced to them that take them back to a place when their minds was operating on a normal level, and these things can absolutely bring them back for a second, for a while, back to being normal. I've seen clips of dementia patients who don't even remember anything, and then you play a certain song and they can recite that song word for word, because it was something about that song that put them in a place mentally where for that moment they were back to themselves. So we can't ever underestimate the power of thought. Um, we talk about stress all the time. We always talking about stress, and I'm stressed out and this and that and this and that. And stress is developed through thought. Stress is developed through having um, visions of things that are going wrong in your life, or even preconceived thoughts of what could possibly go wrong, and they cause us to have stress. And sometimes um, it's not even warranted. Sometimes it's an illusion. It's an artificial feeling. The those thoughts, all that stuff is connected to your nervous system, and your nervous system is connected to your digestive system, and you start to feel a certain way. You start to sweat. You start to get worried, and all of us have been in situations where we've been worried about something, and you feel those feelings of stress, and then all of a sudden what you was worried about turned out to not even be nothing major, and it's like, wow. But it was an example of how you can self-trigger those feelings, and then you find out it wasn't even nothing. It wasn't even nothing. But even if it is something, the body reacts to it. The body reacts to it. So we have to do our best to make sure that we control those negative thoughts, and we keep those in check, and we train our minds to offset the negative thoughts and spring into action to combat any of the problems that come in, any of the bad stuff that comes into the mind. We have to train ourselves to go to war with that, to balance it off, and look at it from an optimistic point of view. Or even if you know that it's a serious problem or a problem that needs to be dealt with, you go into problem solving mode instead of going into um, distress mode, or instead of going into fear mode. You go straight into problem solving mode, and thinking rightly. God created our minds to think right, to think correct. He didn't create our minds to lean towards the bad side. And in this day and age, when there's so much negativity and things like that going around, it's very easy to lean towards the negative. But you still have to do your best to, again, train your mind, no matter what's going on, to know, as a being created in the image and likeness of the Creator, to know that, okay, whatever it is, I'm gonna get out of it. I'm gonna figure out a way to fix it. I'm gonna come up with a solution to fix this problem, and go into action. Start working on that immediately. Don't start whining and crying and stressing about it. And even if you do whine and cry about it, make sure you're still doing the work as you're doing all of that. Because thought can be measured. Thought is a real thing. Thought has substance to it. It's not just some mystical, cloudy, spooky thing that we operate on. It does have weight to it. It does have substance to it, and it can be utilized in a way that can manifest good things in our life once we figure out how to operate it. So think about that as y'all move forward, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, Anything I forgot, y'all feel free to drop it down. Any stories, any examples y'all might want to put, feel free to do so, man. All right, man. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. Peace.